wrong button. All right, let's run through these real quick. First, Conor McGregor buys BKFC Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, which I think is really interesting. I don't think this means Conor is leaving. I don't think it means that there is a partnership with the UFC and BKFC that is coming. I do know Conor has been saying, like, look, I am looking for equity in the Ultimate Fighting Championship or whatever. And they haven't necessarily given him that. But this is Conor dipping into combat sports ownership, but it's not in something that is a competitor to the UFC. So I think it's a very smart, really interesting move. I don't think it changes a whole lot for BKFC right away, but I do think you see like Conor being the face of this and really shilling a lot for it. And I wonder if there's a Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship logo on his bum when he fights Michael Chandler coming up at UFC 303. But overall, Bare Knuckle Fighting, I will admit, I was not the biggest fan of, and I'm still not. I don't love it, but I cannot in any way discredit the staying power for this thing because people are into it, and it has the staying power that I did not necessarily anticipate. All right, a couple of fights have been announced in the last little bit. Arnold Allen against Giga Chikadze at UFC 304. Allen coming off back-to-back losses against some pretty good fighters in Evloev and Holloway, while Chikadze is struggling with injuries, but still really talented fighter. So I think this is an intriguing fight out in England at UFC 304. Anthony Hernandez pulls out of his bout at holy cow. Anthony Hernandez pulls out of his bout at UFC 302. I say reschedule him against Bo Nickel. That should be his next fight. Apologies to whoever he was supposed to fight at UFC 302, but let's make the Bo Nickel fight happen instead. That was the call out, and I think that makes the most sense in my mind. Alex Perez taking on Tajin Ulanbekov at Ultimate Fight Night in June, on June 15th. Perez just lost last weekend at the Ultimate Fight Night show. He took that on short notice and now wants to take another one basically on short notice next month. So he's going to step into the cage there, taking on Ulanbekov, who has back-to-back wins. Perez had just one fight in 4 years. This will be his third fight in 2024. So the man is making up for lost time. Then we get the fights that were announced at UFC 300. Islam Makhachev against Dustin Poirier. Amazing fight for the championship. One last crack at a belt, I think, for Poirier. And then we will probably see the winner of this fight take on Arman Sarukian. And Strickland against Costa. This is testing, I think, the star power of Strickland, putting him in a co-main event in a pay-per-view. But I do think that this is one that he can win. I think the design is for him to win and get right back into that middleweight title picture. And then, of course, the aforementioned Conor McGregor takes on Michael Chandler at UFC 303 International Fight Week. That fight is going to be amazing. I cannot wait for it to finally be here, as we've been talking about this fight, it seems like, for a year and a half.